Hi guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. Thank you, Mr. B, for a fabulous watch along. We're back now. The Premiership's back. We've got our 3 points, and we're going to go into why it was so much hard work today. I'm joined by Bath Time and my brother Kahinde. Let's do this. Welcome to the Man United Agenda. Omondi Juma. I'm joined by Bath Time and Kahinde, as I said earlier. Just a quick intro. Bath Time, how was your weekend of football? How are you getting on with your Sunday team? You're still in pre-season. Give me a little update, please.
Well, it's interesting you asked that on Monday because I haven't told you about this, but I went back to my old team at the weekend because my dad needed shelves putting up and his lawn mowed and all that sort of stuff. And I was a little bit worried about playing like at a much higher level than I have since COVID.
Yeah.
Played a team, they had a couple of trialists. At half time, like we're having a bit of a team talk and that. There's like absolute mayhem from the other team, and two of their trialists are smacking the crap out of each other. Like, not like I don't know what happened. Like, one of them wasn't even on the pitch, and there's like broken nose and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
And then, right, I see a car come into the car park, and I've seen this before, where I think like the guy's getting run up on,
Yeah.
and so I like grabbed Potsy, who's my centre half, and said we need to leg it from here. And then a couple of kids and a family get out of the car, and we're both hiding behind a bush. And the match gets cancelled, and it's a friendly. So I only got 45 minutes in, but I played quite well actually. So yeah, that was my weekend.
I bet it's like down to you. You got them frustrated and they couldn't perform as they wanted to. Kahinde, you want to let them know about our weekend? Let me start this off. I've had a few problems. We're trying to get our team together. I reached out to my brother. He gave me some advice about what to do with our team, and we've done a good job. Don't you reckon, Kahinde?
Yeah, it was more like I reached out to you.
Okay, yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
I made some suggestions to my brother about how to improve the team, how to play to our strengths and everything else like that. And we ended up having a really good performance against a team that won our division a few seasons ago. And we've been struggling to beat them, and we should have won the game. We conceded a last-minute penalty.
Last second penalty.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, Zico, Kahinde, you played brilliantly. There's a number 10. There's always one good player. This guy's outstanding there. Number 10 drops into little pockets of space, turns, mouthy as well. He started getting mouthy, winding people up. Your shit, twisting people up, nutsing people, that sort of player. Zico, can you take him out of your pocket, please? Put him on lockdown. Winding him up. Well done. Anyway, back to professional football. Just want to say, we're going to go talk about the game, and we've got two quality guys to talk about the game with. For those who watched it, think, why are we so shit? Andy Herbert's in the house. He's become a YouTube member. Big up, Andy Herbert. Give him a thumbs up, guys. We got bounced off the ropes as well. What another crap start to season for us, he's saying. Was it last year we lost to Brighton? Wolves absolutely robbed, says Andrew Williams. He's very negative in the house. Miguel's in the house saying we can't keep the ball midfield, running too much. We're going to touch on all of this. Some absolute garbage performances from the players who are worshipped by a fan base. Rashford, Bruno, Casemiro were utterly useless tonight, not consistent enough. We've got we're desperate for Amrabat, says bounce off the ropes. He's also saying we never got Rashford into the game. And finally, slight echo, guys. I think Kahinde, that's you. Anyway, let's get into this. Bath time. We won 1-0 today. Started with our team selection. Do you think that was the right selection today? We had Onana in goal. Back four was Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, and Luke Shaw. Talk to me about the defence.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I know he got an assist tonight, but I thought he was really poor in what he was doing, which I'll explain a little bit later. The thing is, right, is with the system Ten Hag is playing, I was hoping to see Martinez as the one that was inverted alongside Casemiro, but it was a combination. It was either Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, or Mount. none of them can do it properly, and I thought it showed. Like, we were really poor in the centre of the pitch, and when you saw like towards the end of the game, Shaw was great in like the last 15 minutes, but he doesn't have the attributes to play inside.
Right.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka certainly doesn't have the bloody attributes to play inside. I don't know if he's got them to play outside, to be honest. Should be put in a box. And Mount, I can see Andrew getting stuck in.
And all that kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say is, with the players that we had available, was that the right team to start with? Obviously, Casemiro, Bruno, Mount, Garnacho, Rashford, and Antony.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, Kehinde, what do you think? It's not a bad team, is it?
I think the only change I would have made, I would have started Sancho instead of Garnacho.
Snap.
The reason why I say that is because Garnacho, to me, he's still young. He's more of an impact player. Bring him on the last 15, 20 minutes when tired legs and everything else like that. Sancho's got that composure, the patience. I think what we lacked today was just that composure in the final third, just to find that last ball, you know. And I think that's what Sancho brings. He brings that composure and everything else like that, and he's able to switch it up, creativity. So I wouldn't have started Garnacho because it was too like head down run, Garnacho, Rashford. We played with great intensity, but the creativity just wasn't there.
Yeah, I back you up on that one, man. I do think Sancho should be starting these games. I know he's been playing down the middle in the pre-season, but I would have started him on the left instead of Garnacho and brought Garnacho on towards the end, strictly for the reasons you gave there. I think it gives us more control. And in what's the guy's name who's up against us? Stamido, the ex-Barca guy, he ate him up for pace, for manliness and everything. Yeah. Sancho, even though he wouldn't be pacey, he'd hold up the ball better and bring us into play. Exactly. And we saw that. I mean, there's pros and cons to Mount when Eriksen come on the pitch as well. So at least we showed our squad depth. I think by half time I saw a comment from you on the watch-along saying Wolves would get tired. Probably didn't, but we had basically saying we had options on the bench to come bring in. Just a couple of comments before we go on to the performance. Ten Hag played Sancho down the middle pre-season, start him off the bench, and come on, play down the left. Bemused by his tactics. I think he's always a left-sided player anyway. Wan-Bissaka was our best outfield player, but Darius knows best, he suppose, says Andrew Williams. Looked terrible in midfield. Wolves ran us through us like diarrhea.
So Derek Chisora.
Yeah. That's bad. Mo, big up Mo, by the way. I haven't seen him before, but that's a funny comment. Big up, lads. Wolves gave us a good game for sure. 23 shots on target. Double A saying, tonight we were you're United. It was a boring game. He's saying, Sancho, not good on the flanks. They would have bullied him too, says Miguel. I disagree. Emma saying, fuck it. We got 3 points. Good night for when you get there. Yeah, we got the points. That's important. All right, let's go to the performance. Bartholome, you started on the performance. You were going in just now. Go back to the Wan-Bissaka issue. You were saying about this inverted play that we're trying to do or not trying to do somewhat.
Right. So I think everyone has caught up a bit now where you've seen the majority of the teams playing a 3-2 rest defence, where this basically means that you have 3 centre-backs and 2 midfielders. Like, you see John Stone stepping in at Man City. I think everyone's aware of that. So tonight, United sort of rotated that duty, where occasionally Shaw, definitely in the first 10 minutes, was playing as a pivot. And then you saw Wan-Bissaka doing it, and then occasionally you'd see Mason Mount doing it. And at one point, I saw Bruno doing it. None of these players are really kind of like good at playing this position. They're not bad, but they're not good. And I feel that we, same as last season, man, we're so light in the centre of the park. Pretty much every chance that Wolves had came from a transition or through just running through the centre of the park. And Casemiro, by no stretch of the imagination, is a bad player. But he is not as defensive-minded as everyone thinks, constantly diving in and then leaving us open. And we got saved by Varane tonight, not just from his goal, but in the first half, Wolves messed up a transition and he just managed to get his heel on the end of something to stop it going in. But we need, we need a better central midfielder alongside Casemiro, or we're not going to meet with success.
Kahinde, what are you thinking about that? Do you agree with Bath time about like how we were playing with the inverted fullbacks before Shaw was in there? It's not working. Do you think we're a bit open with Casemiro and it's kind of on his own in the middle? Is he a bit rash? Is he a pudding?
Yeah, I've been saying it from last season. Casemiro, we need another CDM to put real pressure on Casemiro because, like I said, he doesn't have the legs to last the whole season. And I just think today what he should have done is I would have liked to have seen him just drop back in the mid to the centre backs, like almost as a free, let the ball and start building it up. Like to me, like he was playing like too close to Mount, and then he's having to chase. So I would have liked to see him just drop deeper, collect the ball, and start building up the play. And because he shouldn't be chasing back and things like that. He's got to have a smarter game about him because he hasn't got the legs, and he was just getting run through.
Do you think, like me and myself, I'm the same. I play football these days. I realise I ain't got the legs to get certain places, and I'm starting to have to understand I can't do what I used to do, or I can't get certain places. You're the same. I mean, on the pitch, is that a lesson that Casemiro has to learn now about? Right, I need to sort of maybe position myself and play to my strengths and not get caught out because a couple of times he was wrong side of the ball when they're running through on goal.
Exactly that. Yeah, I think if Ten Hag's going to go with those two, Casemiro and Mount, they need to really sort it out because at the moment I don't think it's a good combination because Casemiro he doesn't seem like he's wanting to take the ball from the defense or get in the back three, just like Kobe Manu was doing in the friendlies.
Yeah.
He was popping back, taking the ball from the defense, going in the back three, and then bringing it out. Casemiro needs to do that. And Mount, I like him, good intensity and everything, but he doesn't have that ball retention, that creativity that Eriksen has. So this is why we really struggled in the midfield with those two. It doesn't look like it's going to be a good combination, and we need to bring in another midfielder to put pressure on them.
Just quickly, a bit of an echo, maybe drop out, come back in again. And your mic, yeah. Your thoughts on that, Bath? This is an important factor I think we talk about. We're going to talk about performance as well. But when we're so open like that in the middle, it's scary. We all had our hearts and our mouths a lot of the time when they were transitioning ball. Is it Casemiro the issue? Do you think another one player, we're looking at Onana from Everton, maybe another one player could do a job and just sit there and be responsible? Is that what it takes? Or is it a tactical thing?
I think it. There's such cop out. I think it's a combination. I mean, I remember last year, Monday, when we were talking about that Everton player, and I was saying that he's basically the Black McTominay. I'd absolutely love him in the team, like the pair of them together. I just don't know how you play against that. So strong and powerful. But okay, so what Kahinde is saying is quite interesting to me because it's been over a year on Monday. Can you remember what it is when a central midfielder drops into to make a back three?
Okay, yeah, it's a Latin word. This is your forte.
Yeah, salida volpiano, and basically, right? So if Casemiro, and Kahinde can help me with this, if Casemiro drops in to make a back three, essentially on the pitch it becomes a 3-4-3, right? Who are the four? I'm going to assume it's going to be Shaw and Wan-Bissaka providing the width. Who are the two in the midfield?
Mount and Bruno.
Do you trust them with their back to goal receiving?
Bruno, yes.
Mount not so much.
I need to see more of him. I need to see more of it. But I just think the positions that Mount is, like as an 8 or 10, he should be able to do that. So I do expect him to be able to do that. This is why we signed him.
Well, for me, the reason that we sound Mount, right, is because he's an exceptional presser of the ball, but he's never not played in the first line of pressure.
Yeah,
we're playing him in the second line of pressure, which is really simple because it's just a man marking job. Today, like one of the big things that stood out, and like Omondi, you're obviously a very physical player. I felt that we lost duels all over the pitch because we were going man to man. Yeah, don't point at me like that.
I'm getting excited, Barta. You're right. You got it. Yeah. That something stood out to me today was like men against boys. When we played Real Madrid a few weeks ago, I felt like we were getting moved up too much. It's like, come on, lads, come on, hold your ground and stand up to this. We didn't, and today they were just like pushing us off the ball. I remember when Anthony got in front of the man or driving away from someone, they still managed to pinch the ball and bounce him off. And, it made us look like kids out there. Whoever's doing gym work, whatever, they need to sort of tear out their membership card and start again. Come to me, come to Zico, Kahinde. We'll train you how to get strong. Like, it's just a joke.
No. I'm not.
Joke.
I'm not so sure about that. Strong. I'm not so sure about that. Like, I know we need to read the comments, but I've asked you about this before. But like, one of the most like sort of important things like a coach ever told me is because I'm equally as bad on both feet, so it doesn't really matter which one I use. But he told me once that I was too worried about unbalancing a player instead of being in a position to accelerate away. And I feel that both Sancho and Anthony suffer from this, where their body shape is never right to make that separation from their player. In particular, Sancho. Like, Sancho can wiggle like Beyonce or whatever, but his weight's never in the right place to just to separate. And we had 3 wingers tonight. Not one of them was able to drop a shoulder, get the guy off balance, and go past. And I don't know if that's a physical thing. I think that's a technical thing. But what do the comments say?
I actually think physically all over the park until McTominay came on.
Wasn't he fan? Omondi, right? I do know we need to read the comments, but do you remember when he came on? We were defending a free kick. If anyone wants to see how, as a midfielder, you defend it was world class what he did. Yeah, and then like Carlos Tevez suddenly came on the pitch to celebrate.
All right, comments. So
comments.
Momo is saying Casemiro has been at the buffet all season. He looks like a bus trying to compete in a Formula One race. That's a good one.
Oh,
want to say hi to FC United Forever. How you doing? And also Billy Smith is in the house. He's saying, I really predicted a 4-0 win for United, but really surprised at how Wolves held their own. I think most people are, aren't they? They played really well. Big up to Pat Lawless. He's saying here, lads, if that's the case, and we do need a more defensive-minded centre midfielder, Dan Casemiro, then what was the point in buying Mason Mount? He's saying here. I think Mount's okay. He's not that position, is he? FC United Forever saying, what a great sit-in by bottle job supporters, considering the biggest broadcaster in the world, apart from the Premier League themselves, as in Comcast, were pitch side. Good job. We did it best in 05, then left. I just went over my head. Sorry.
I think what she's talking about. I think is FC United a girl?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I just pronouns are very important. I found out recently. But I think what she's talking about is that the 1958 wanted a 60-minute sit-in after the game.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. Like, FC United, let us know, because God no, I just turned the thing off and came in Streamlabs. But let us know if it happened or not. I think the bottle jobs is about supporters going home.
Thanks to FC United, Eve in Pat Housewife Fab. She's saying there. Big up to Nico. Hard to drop a shoulder and run past a man. And we have 6 back defending Nico. Kinde, you're back with us. Performance. So yeah, we talked about the middle of the park. Martinez, he got booked early and then he got dragged off. Do you think he got dragged off for the booking? And how do you think he played with Varane today at centre back? I'm saying this because you played magnificent with your Sam yesterday as a centre back. So I want you to talk about the 2 centre backs today. What do you think about their performance? And considering they didn't, like, you had to peel off for this guy who was dropping deep. We were up against Kahuna's. What's his name? I don't know, but whatever his name was, he was dropping deep as well. Yeah. Well, how would you counteract that?
Just going on Martinez, I thought like there was a bit of lack of sharpness today. He didn't look his normal self. But I don't think Wan-Bissaka did either. I thought Varane was outstanding.
Hmm.
I do like Martinez. I just think he brings. He complements Varane. There's their styles because he's more Martinez is more of the ball player. But yeah, I felt like Varane was just unreal, and he's my favorite player. I love watching him because I just feel that he does the way he defends, the way he shuffles play away from danger and everything else like that. I just think you just unreal. Something wrong, is it?
No, I've got someone dog barking in the background. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
but
hear me?
bath time because when I made a comment last week and bath time was talking about Varane's passing,
Hmm.
he's concerned about that, and I
Yes.
was not breaking the lines. But my thing is that as a defender, his thing should be about defending first. I don't think he doesn't. I'm not saying he doesn't need to break the line, but I don't think his job is to defend basically. And
Yeah.
Martinez has got that range, so they both don't need to be excellent passers. But Varane's passing, I think it's good enough to be in this level because he's won everything, in the game. He's just does a straight
Did you
pass,
see him play any left to right passes or right to left?
switching play. No, but there's a couple of times where he shuffles over. His passing
Did
just
you see
straight.
him playing passes in between the line into feet?
Not
Confidently?
really, not really. I wouldn't say that I did notice that, but
Yeah.
I just think as a defender, you just try and pass either fullback or hit the central midfielders, and you're not supposed to be doing spectacular passes. It's not expected of you. You defend first. That's the most important thing.
All right.
All right.
Go on.
Are you allowing me to answer that, Amondo?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to go.
What do you want to? Yeah. So, like, the thing about like Rand's passing it, and we saw it a little bit tonight. I think in the first minute, he did a bad pass. He played extremely well, and I'm a big fan of Varane. I think that he is probably one of the best defenders in the Premier League in wide areas, which is absolutely great. But tonight, over and over again, we saw Varane carry the ball up the pitch and then have to turn back and pass it backwards. Right? Not a huge problem, but it does stop the ability to build tempo from the midfield because he's not particularly good at vertical passes. And when you look at teams like Manchester City, like Brighton, like pretty much anyone else in the Premier League, the meta, which is like the most effective team tactics at the moment, is that you draw people in, you use your technical ability to keep the ball with the +1 that you have in the back because you're a goalkeeper, and then you make almost like a synthetic transition. Varane can't do this, and in a sort of greater point about Manchester United is we have a lot of players who can't play the most effective way. Casemiro and Varane are the two that stand out. Where Casemiro, very good for half an hour, but his lack of fitness, his lack of ability to play like one or two touch inside passing is a real problem. Like, as the season goes on, you might see it more and more, but I do not disagree. I think that Varane was by far and away the best player on the pitch tonight. Well, no, he wasn't, but he was the best United player.
I'm not sure. I'm
I
surprised.
think the goalkeeper was the best player. But sorry, just to interrupt you. Who would you say, Bartham, in the Premiership has the range of passing that you think for a defender is good enough?
Good enough?
Yeah,
Tyrone Mings.
Breaking the lines and what you want to see for.
Oh, okay. So what I want: Tyrone Mings, Nathan Ake.
Good. What's his name?
Tyrone Mings.
Tyrone Mings. He
Right.
absolutely destroyed us at Old Trafford at Ragnick, where I think we were 2-0 up, and then we drew 2-2, like a year and a half ago, and it was
Maguire.
down. Yeah, Maguire's range of passing is very good. But like I think that Varane should be in the team Kahimde. Like there's a couple of players that I criticise, but the thing is like like I believe that in your back line there should be at least one physical monster, right? This is why you get players like Carl Walker, Akanji. Like, you get someone who can absolutely dominate 1v1 duels, and it shuts one side of the pitch down. And Varane is our monster, but the problem is that tonight, a lot of the time, he was playing in the central position. We were giving it to Wan-Bissaka, and I know that Andrew's gone because he doesn't like hearing different opinions to the ones that he holds. But Wan-Bissaka was bloody dreadful tonight, and I'll tell you why. Anytime, like, Anthony had quite a good first half. Didn't touch the ball very much, but he put Rashford in twice. But Anthony was constantly looking behind him in the press to see, and Wan-Bissaka out of position. Like, not there. Our press was dreadful, and we need our press to be better. And to go to Pat Lawless, we signed Mason Mount to make our press better, but we need everyone to be on it, not just one person.
Okay, I will disagree with a couple of points, but I want to go through some comments first. Pat Lord is saying, bath time, that's all your fault. He's now known as the housewife's favourite. Pranay is saying, my plus point is that the defenders took the initiative when the attack was struggling, but no excuse for the forwards to be poor. So he's not rating the forwards today. He rates the defenders for taking initiative there. DK Wilson said Varane is a poor passer. It was glaring in pre-season. He's stuck to play from advance a lot. So he agrees with you, bath time. Dave P saying a bit too timid for 50-50 challenges. I thought, can understand the reluctance to risk an injury, but if the fluid passing still gets undercooked, getting stuck in is the bare minimum, he's saying. Good point, Dave P. Welcome to the channel. Casemiro will be fit and fine in 3 games. Mark these words. DK Wilson said that. And Jeff saying, Bath, you like Onana come in for the ball, owning his box. Yeah, he did command quite well, I felt. Onana, apart from when he slapped someone in the face, almost gave away a penalty at the end. King Chashala saying here, keyword, technical ability. A lot of our 11 lack this. I knew we'd have issues today. Everyone thought Onana would wave a magic wand and we'd be playing like prime Barcelona. Hard reality check tonight, like the slap that Onana gave to that striker. Sancho is poor, says Man United. Andy only has 1 foot. And he also says Rashford was poor. And Easy Win says box. And Mo Morris is saying he likes his buffet too much. How can he be fit? Look, first half. Let's talk about the first half. I think it was a bit shocking that we couldn't really get off and sort of control the game. I don't think we really controlled the game. I like the way Wolves were playing. Like you said, bath time in transitions and sort of hurting us on the back foot. And this is something we're supposed to be good at, transitions. But do you think? I think Wolves really enjoyed the run out today. 6 days that manager's been at the job. Big up to Gary O'Neill, former Portsmouth player, good player, and got sacked. I think it was a bit unfortunate getting sacked from Bournemouth. But Zika, I mean, what do you think of Wolves in the first half? And overall, I mean, the way they're playing, I wrote them off. I thought they haven't spent much money. They've got a makeshift manager coming in, but the way they played their football is like they've been well drilled all pre-season, like us on Sundays, and they perform really well.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I heard Mr. P saying we're going to whip them, win 3-0. They're in the bad transition and everything, but they really set up well. And there's a problem when you get a new manager. That's what usually happens. It's like a team always performs well under a new manager, like almost instantly, straight away. And obviously it's against United, so they're up for the game, and they got a lot of physical players, quick players. So it made it really hard for us, and we've always kind of struggled against them. We have never really done that well. And imagine if the muscle man had played. I know he's left; he's gone to Fulham, but if he was playing today, we would have been.
What, Adama?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man! Like, that's like saying Saint Maximin is a worry. Like, no end product. He's got everything you need, but like Adama is not great.
I'm not trying to big him up as a world class player, but he causes problems every time he plays against.
Yeah, okay.
No one could, like Acuna today. He was stretching our team. He couldn't finish, but if that guy Adama was playing, oh my god, you can't touch him.
Okay, well, they didn't score, thank God. And then we did in the second half. I thought it was a good move. Bruno dinked the ball over for the guy that was getting trashed here from my right-hand side man, Wan-Bissaka. Bath time, you've been trashing Wan-Bissaka, but I thought he played
Yeah.
well there. I disagree with you. I don't want to go head-to-head, but I disagree with you. I thought he played
I disagree. I don't think Wan-Bissaka had his best game. I've seen him play.
I thought he played well.
No.
There were times when they would transition the ball. He was the guy getting back and getting his foot in and sort of standing up on these guys. That's defending.
Yeah.
And that's no. That's defending. There were times when they were running back and Casemiro was missing and all these other midfielders were wrong side of the play. They were running back and Wan-Bissaka done his job defensively. And I'm like, well, clap that. As we would say, clap that on the pitch.
What about his positioning at crosses, Omondi?
Yeah, hold on. So we know he's not that sort of player who can play in the final third, but he's improving and he's getting into good positions. Positioning crosses, he he was there for Bruno. Bruno found him out, dinked the ball over to him, and he crossed the ball for the goal. So you have to give the man some sort of credit because if you're watching this today, he defended well. He's in his one-on-one situations, and he also got in positions where he gets nosebleeds. He's not used to this. Only seen in the last year or so, you see him in these positions, getting in there often. And he's getting fed as well because sometimes not much on. And also, the reason I think he played well, as my last point about Wan-Bissaka, why I disagree with both of you, why I think he played well, is because he was the only one before Motm came on who had that physicality to really and strengthen for the ball. All the other guys getting moved up too easily. He was the only one I felt, where even in the final third, who was trying to sort of, I'm having this, I can go with you, I can run with you. It looked like they were getting eaten up. Every single player was getting eaten up out there, apart from Wan-Bissaka. So I give the guy credit. I know you're going to say about tactically or positionally or whatever, but I will counter that by saying, well, positionally, he was in a position there in the final third, in the box, and crossed the ball for the goal. So I'm welcome to argument.
No, I agree with you. Like, he defended well and all that, but that's just what we expect from him. That's the bare minimum. Like, we always.
It's his job.
Yeah, that's what he always does well. But we want to focus on the things that he needs to improve on, and obviously, like sometimes his positioning. I think he gave away really rash foul one time, but again, he got the assist. But I just think that there's little bits in his play that still needs improving. But my thing is, I like the fact that we've got Wan-Bissaka and below because there's games that Wan-Bissaka is suited for, like today, a physical game, and there's games that Delo have been more suited for. So I'm really happy that we've got these two right backs. Who are...
I'm extremely unhappy with our right backs, and I want Pavard in straight away.
What would you offer Pavard?
Pavard doesn't even like playing right back. Pavard wants to be a centre back.
Really?
Exactly. So when you're playing a 3-2. You've got Pavard who can defend out in wide areas, has a range of passing, he's a good attacking fullback when he's providing the width. He is an enormous upgrade on Delo and Wan-Bissaka. I'm not sure I can forgive Wan-Bissaka for what he did in the FA Cup final. I can't. It's just basics, knowing your distances. I felt that tonight. I don't disagree about Wan-Bissaka was the only person that could stand up physically, but who was he against? He was against Juan Chan or someone he came on as a sub.
That guy didn't stop.
That guy looked sharp, man. To be honest, he did look pretty sharp. And,
I thought he did. I thought he did Wan-Bissaka a few times, but look, I can't lie. I'm very biased after the FA Cup final. Against Wan-Bissaka.
Let it go because you'll be holding on to that. You'll be playing good games like today with an assist. And
look at no one talks about Lindelof in the FA Cup final for letting the ball bounce and De Gea for the second goal.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. We'll talk about
because the reason that Lindelof let it bounce is Casemiro crossed his pivot. That is like driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, but
hold on, unbelievable.
That's an old game. That's an old game, guys. Let's talk about tonight's game. All right, just a couple more comments before we go into sort of player ratings and that kind of thing. Box is agreeing with me, saying we are a physically weak team. Only McTominay has a bit of strength about him. That's what I saw today. I thought Wan-Bissaka played overall well. Says DK Wilson, same page. Snap, DK. High five. Man United saying here, Anthony, new pearly whites and new white hair. Looks stupid. I'm sorry, Ganacho as well. They think they're movie stars or something like that. Saying Man United, so he's upset with these guys and their hairstyles. And I think they was just ineffective today. Box is saying really disappointing tonight. Carved open every single time. No fluid attacking playing at home to relegation favourites. Not happy with Eric Ten Hag or the team. Mo Morris is saying here, gentlemen, who's your best player of the game? We're going to come to that very soon. Don't worry about that. Mo, Onana, and Maguire and Lindelof says Box and True. Get over last season's a DK. Yeah, stop this with the FA Cup chat, guys.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't
tell me what to feel.
We're going to talk about player ratings. And Onana, I'm going to start with Onana and the defence. We'll talk about all of us will talk about this quickly. Obviously, Onana was in goal. I thought he was fantastic, to be fair. Saved down low, saved at his feet as well when it's drilled at him at his feet. Came out and claimed crosses, even though it did flat. I didn't think it was a penalty because the guy who slapped wasn't going to do anything with the ball. It's afterwards as well. The other guy had it. It wasn't nothing to do with him. So I'm really pleased that they didn't give it because I was really throbbing at one point. But yeah, Onana done really well. He's kicking. I see one pass, and I think we're going to see this occasionally once or twice a game where he just drills it into feet from 50, 60 yards. And I thought that was really impressive. He's got that range, he's got that confidence. And once we start getting used to building the ball, bringing the ball out, I think it's going to be brilliant. But like I say it's not just that. He saved down low, he saved with his feet, and he's got a presence about him, a menacing presence about him, which I like. Onana, please, guys. Bath time. And Zeke.
I want to talk about second phase play, but Onana, I'd give 7 out of 10. Can't disagree with anything you said. A lot of the outballs he played were to Garnacho, and in the few games Garnacho started last season, he also started with Maguire, who kept trying to find him with those balls, but he'd lost his duel. So I think that Onana did what was asked of him. He faced about 30 shots, didn't let any in, made comfortable saves. They didn't really put much pressure on him at corners, so we'll see how he gets on next week, but I thought he was really good. Contender for man of the match.
Yeah, I second everything.
Wait. Before I do, Zeke, Box is saying Onana solid passing, made saves, and put his body on the line last minute. Pat is saying here, would I be wrong in saying that Wolves were just more mentally strong than us? No, you'll be right, probably. Box is saying
they were also physically stronger than us. Yeah. That was the problem.
That's true. Jeff saying it was an assault. They took him into custody after the match on Monday, talking about Onana's slap on the guy. And everyone's laughing. And he's not guilty, says Mo Morris. Sorry, Kinde, talk about the goalkeeper and then go on to the defence on the whole player.
Yeah. I mean, Onana, I thought he was just fantastic. It's just like those shots that he saved, you expect him to save. And that's what I'm saying. He was there every time. And he had that presence about him. He claimed the crosses and everything. The only thing that bit at the end was a little bit rash. On another day, some that could have been given, but I like what you say. I don't think it was a penalty because the guy headed the ball and then he made contact after the guy had hit it.
On a different guy.
Yeah, he didn't stop the guy from making contact with the ball. So, yeah, I thought he was fantastic. He was my man of the match. Varane. Obviously, I spoke about Varane already. So, Varane and Onana combined for me. Yeah. Wan-Bissaka gets a 6. 7 because he's got the assist. And obviously Martinez, I don't know what's going on with him. He didn't look his best today. And I thought Luke Shaw, he grinded today because he made some really good last-ditch challenges. Yeah. So I'm going to give him a 7. Yeah.
Bath time. Defence, please.
I think I'll give Shaw a 6. He had a really poor first half and 60 minutes, but he came into his own when he played in the right position. I'm happy to give Wan-Bissaka a 7 simply because of the assist. And to be fair to him, in the 2 moments where he needed to produce crosses, he produced good crosses. One Rashford got a handball attempt after a header. Martinez, ever since the World Cup, Martinez hasn't been the same player for me. And he got, he wasn't great after Christmas. He got absolutely bullied in transitions tonight. They ran past him twice. Yeah. I think I'll give him a 4. I think it was below, and that's generous. I think it was well below,
what was wrong?
What
so you want to talk about second phase. What was wrong with the way we were bringing the ball out? I think the players seemed a bit anxious at times when it was passed out. They were not very comfortable. What's going on there with bringing the
Can
ball
I
Well,
out?
it's like
let Buff?
Yeah, go on. Well, both of you answer. Go on. Just challenge each other. Just whoever speaks first.
I think it's because of what Casemiro wasn't doing. I touched upon it earlier. It's
All
like,
right.
he's got to be the guy that's like, looking to, making the angle, wanting to, take it on his back foot, to bring it out. And because he wasn't showing, it was putting pressure on the defenders to, you know, it, and
Okay.
that's basically putting pressure on the defenders because he wasn't showing for the ball.
all right. Well, I don't think that's the case because Casemiro needs to play like a lighthouse. He needs to be a static figure in the centre of the pitch that everyone takes their position from. That's what a pivot is. Is that you look to him for your sort of positional geography. And for me, the problem with like the second phase play is that Ten Hag likes the team to get all spread out, and he likes he likes to overload in wide areas. That means that people can make sort of like inside runs. We see a lot of long balls to Delot in the first half of last season, where Delot would be running in and stuff. Our second phase play is absolutely dreadful because we don't have enough people in the middle of the pitch pushing us up the pitch, just, incremental trench warfare with sideways passes so that we can use counter-pressing structures. Yeah. And I think that we need another person in alongside Casemiro that isn't Shaw, that isn't Wan-Bissaka, that isn't Mason Mount. Is a specialised midfielder. And unfortunately, I don't think Amrabat is that man. I don't know. I mean, I want McTominay back in the team, certainly after his performance.
Okay, fair enough. So we're coming on to midfield now, talking about second phase play and why it was breaking down. We really struggled in the first half with that. The midfielders were poor for me. I think defence was pretty poor. We were just too wide open a lot of the time, and we were run through. And it's not just the defence, but I mean, they're lacking.
But is that the setup, Omondi, or is that them individually?
Individually, because I think sometimes the pace of this guy running through the middle, it's like, man, they're giving them a run around. They must be blowing out their backsides today. And I just think, I do think they weren't physical enough. You've got to be stronger. I know it's right going in like Martinez gets himself booked, but not that sort of physicality. I mean, like just running with people and just being strong enough.
What are you giving Martinez? What did you think?
I'm with you. I think it's like giving him a 4 is like a boost. I don't think it was good enough today.
Yeah,
just didn't look, because we weren't in control. They were too physically strong. We weren't in control of the game. Midfield now, just coming into midfield, so Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount. I don't think they were good enough today. We're expecting them in, like Bartha, you make a great point about the second phase. That's why I was leading on to that. We expect them to do a better job by bringing the ball out. It's not like they were playing a low block. I did raise the question before the game preview to say, will we be up against a low block, having to try and break them down? I don't think it was like that at all. I just think physically they were just munching us, and we couldn't get anything going. So the midfielders, you have to take some responsibility for that. When Eriksen comes on, I think he slows it down and dictates things.
Yeah.
I felt Eriksen and Sancho, maybe in hindsight, it's easy to say, maybe should have started to give us more control against a team that we maybe underestimated. So midfield, all three players just get a 5 for me.
I'll give Bruno a 6, just on the basis that Bruno played with the safety on tonight. You didn't see any stupid balls from him. He played it safe until like the final third. It was like a mature performance from Bruno. And I think with a bit more help from Casemiro, Mount, and maybe someone inverting, like you might like see that Bruno performance differently. I know it's disappointing because he's our talisman. He's the one that sparks everything. But tonight I thought he played reserved, and that's, if everyone else had played like him, I think we'd have been much more comfortable.
In there, before we wrap it up, because we're getting to the end of the show soon, we've got to touch on these. Mr. B saying, can't believe we didn't give a penalty away. Box saying, Lindelof gave me no confidence in his cameo, looked very nervy. Don't see why Maguire isn't deemed way worse than him. Is deemed way worse than him. DK was the same. Keepers almost never get penalties for clattering players in the box. That's true. Box is saying here, we look more settled in the first half with Martinez. Casemiro strolling around like it's kickabout in the park. Too casual, too slow, too sloppy. That's from Box. He's talking about Amrabat and Thuram. He played for Nice, Thuram, midfielder. Mainu is that man, DK Wilson saying. who's at the club, so we don't need to worry about signings. He'll be back from injury soon. And Boxer saying here, Bruno first half was a bright spark. Second half, bar the pre-assist, was very poor with the final ball. So that's Box assessments. What's your assessment on Bruno and Co midfield Kinde?
Bruno, I thought he did enough. He worked hard and everything. I'll give him a 6. And yeah, like Bath Time said, he didn't do no risky wasting balls or whatever. But I don't think those 2 midfielders behind him, they needed to help him out a lot more. Then he could have got into the game. Mount, I'll give a 6 for just for his effort and his pressing. Casemiro, I'll give him a 5. I just don't think today he did enough for me in terms of like what I expect a CDM to do.
So overall, for me, it's just physicality and getting more on it. We're back in the Premier. Ain't no friendlies in the hot sun of America. So I think we need to sort of get back on that sort of tempo. I'm just going to make this quick. The final 3 up front, and obviously we had subs come on as well. We can just touch on them. But I thought Rashford was poor today. Doesn't hold the ball up. Yeah. Ran too much into traffic as he used to do. His decision making was poor. He's not bringing people into play. He's got to pop it off and give and go and get into space, I think. That way he can hurt teams. Garnacho, I thought, was terrible today, as in he got munched up. He was like boy to man kind of thing today. And on the right, I thought Anthony done all right in the first half. Everyone's amazed that he actually went down the right at one time, rather than doing the other stuff. Yeah, it's a little sort of dummy. So if he's got his back to goal and someone's rushing him, he'd just drop a shoulder and go the other way. And he still doesn't get away from the guy. He left the guy hanging, and he still didn't get away from him. He sort of came back again for some reason. Anthony is a work in progress. So all 3 of them, I'll just give him a 5. But I did like Sancho when he came on, and I do like Pellegrini. And going forward, I can't wait to see Rasmus, and see what he's got to offer as well. Because we definitely need something, maybe a bit more physical up top. Both of you just finish off with the forwards and man of the match, please.
Go on, Hinde.
I agree with everything you said about Rashford. I thought he was really poor, not holding up the ball, running into just nowhere, no man's land. Even when he did get into space and all that, he was wasteful. Garnacho, got munched. I don't think he should be starting. I know he's a good young talent, but people are hyping him up too much. He's not like Cristiano Ronaldo was at the same age. He's not that sort of talent, And I still think Sancho needs to play because he gives us that good balance where he could see a pass and more creative. Garnacho's just a last 20 minute guy. Just bring him on. Anthony, I thought I liked the stuff that he was doing in the first half because what I like, he's got to be unpredictable. So, like you say, he went down the line and he crossed with his right foot. I was like clapping when he did that. And there's little things that he did, like little dummies. You think he's gonna, shoot, and he just does a little pass or whatever. So I like that he's mixing it up because he hasn't got like blistering pace, but he just needs to be unpredictable with that trickery and just be a bit clever. So I'm going to give Anthony a 6.5, and the rest of them I'll give 5. Rashford and Garnacho 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to repeat the same sort of things. Like, Garnacho isn't as fast as he thinks, so he needs to sort of work on that. I saw Azpilicueta eat him up last season.
Wow.
He just the problem with our wingers is separation. Is they've got all the ball control, they've got all the skills, but when they beat a man, they can't consistently get the ball in front and get in behind them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rashford just doesn't have the discipline to play at 9. He kept drifting too much. You gotta play central. It's exactly the same as Casemiro in the midfield when he goes wandering. I know Kahinde earlier was sort of saying you've got to go and help your people out. You don't. That's not your job. That's someone else's. And it's exactly the same with Rashford. You've got to say central because he's drifting too much and there's no focus, there's no target, as it were. I thought Anthony was really good in the first half with his work rate and all of that, and he put the ball in. He looked like the most likely person to do anything. And Garnacho, he's not ready. He would have benefited from a loan, to be honest. But I'm sure he'll come good. But I wasn't happy with anyone. Sancho, I didn't think did particularly well. He was all right,
What?
but I thought it was Ericsson helped him out tremendously. I thought Ericsson really sort of like changed the game with a bit of control, a bit
Yes.
of like keeping the ball safe, taking up the correct positions, and maybe if Ericsson had started, you'd have seen a better game from Garnacho.
You know what? I feel the echo, but that's a great point. That is a really good point.
But then saying that, the way the midfielders were they were running through us, people would say Ericsson wouldn't have the legs to keep up with it.
Good
So-
count.
Well, yeah, but Ericsson is one of like not just ours, but he's one of the hardest working midfielders in the Premier League and consistently tops like distance run
Yeah, I heard you
and
say
things like that.
last week. It's evident Ten Hag has brought Mount in to do what Ericsson can't.
Yeah, well, Mount actually, like Casemiro messed up in the first half, and Mount was able to get back and stop, well, I wouldn't say stop a goal, but stop a good chance based off his work rate. But the thing is that we have like Ericsson, Mount, Casemiro, Bruno, and McTominay. Pick your best three. What is the best three out of them? Like just all round to win your games, because it's not balanced.
Yeah. I see where you're going with this. I'm not going to answer that. I can't answer that.
It's hard because I've said it already. Already, Mount and Casemiro, that doesn't look like a good combination.
Does Ericsson and Casemiro work?
Problem, easy issue at the moment because he doesn't do what I like a CDM to do.
Who?
Casemiro.
Okay, yeah.
And I said this why we shouldn't have sold James Garner because I love the way that he plays. James Garner, he always drops in the back three, brings the ball out and all that, and he controls like a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still need two players in the center of the pitch, and you're pulling Bruno and Mount back if you've got got a player like Garner.
Doesn't mind doing that. He doesn't mind dropping.
But is that where he's effective?
Yeah,
This is why Bruno gets put at right wing, because he's most effective.
No, but
like-
what I'm saying is when the CDM drops into the centre backs.
The full-backs go forward.
It creates the triangle. Yeah,
It creates a diamond.
Well,
There's two triangles in a diamond.
the triangle, the back triangle, and then if Bruno's playing ahead of them, it's a triangle. So when you've got triangles, you should always be able to create space and create something. And that's why I wouldn't have the issue. But none of our CDMs do that. McTominay never does it. I saw him do it the first time in the preseason game, the last preseason game we had. The first time I've seen him drop back in the free, I was like, yes, I was clapping. I was like, that's what he doesn't do. There's a YouTube thing saying why McTominay's not a good CDM because he doesn't like to collect the ball. He just likes to mark the ball.
Yeah, but that's a massive misunderstanding of how a pivot works. I mean, that's like I can tell you that there are like YouTube videos about like 9/11 and things like that, and why it was an inside job.
Yeah. It was an inside job, but
Let's not go there.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But I'm just saying that.
What was it, you two?
Yes, it was us. Let's not go there.
Do you know what? Do you know what? This is that. You know how we have like in England we have like Ali Dia, who played for Southampton and was like a bit of a joke. One of the guys that got convicted for 9/11 managed to get himself a job as a player in German football, and that's like one of the pilots, and that's how he got like into Europe and into the United States. Was like they pulled off a con job on a German football team. Outrageous.
Anyway, moving on. You guys have a good head.
I'm just saying. Just half time quickly.
Yeah.
James Garner, his style. No. Well, that's me and you got a completely different perspective about what you like. It's like
I like lighthouses.
Did you like Michael Carrick as a specialist CDM?
No, absolutely not.
Wow.
I did not like Michael Carrick at all. Lazy, not switched on to danger, like head in the clouds. Like I've been through this so many times.
Stop. Let's pause.
All right.
You two, you're gonna have to come on the show. I'm gonna let you at each other. That's like Scrappy Doo. Yeah, let me at him. You two are going to have to discuss this on a separate show that I'm going to set up because obviously there's some bumping heads that need to go on here. Carrick equals Busquets says Box.
Shut up, Box!
Don't bite. Right. Just to wind up now, guys. Just a few more comments. Bruno, we said that one about Bruno. Sancho looked bright. Now Max is out there in the USA sun. He's saying 112 out there. That's too hot. It's far too hot. But they did play comfortable football out there, Ole football, and now we're back in the Prem where it's raining and in August and it's fast paced. The Boxers say here Rashford can't seem to beat a man anymore. Boxers saying again, Garnacho always plays better as a sub. Laughing. That's a slogan from last year, wasn't it? Boxers saying as well, and need more time on the training pitch, less time in the spa. DK Wilson, Rashford is a winger, not a number 9. I think you guys touched on that as well. Ericsson gets tired, would have got tired after 60 minutes. His Box is Amrabat still off. His links have gone cold. I haven't heard much about it either. And DK saying, I'm confused. Wasn't Casemiro roundly praised last season for controlling games?
He didn't control games. He stifled.
Yeah.
Not a controller.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. What Casemiro does, he does three things extremely well. One is he's great in the air, and you can see that with the sort of chances and goals that he scores from corners. Second thing is that his range of passing allows us to get it out wide, and he also has what I call the flip pass, where he did it tonight actually. I can't remember who he did it to, but the ball gets played in and he plays a first time ball into the channel. And it's the mark of a top quality CDM. But what Casemiro is a playmaker. He is not a controller. He's not great at the sort of intricate play the same way a Rodri or Busquets is.
I think he can do that. I think
when's he done it?
I think he can do it if he starts to change his game with age, as you know, Barthelme and Kahinde, with age. Start to slow down, then he maybe can develop that sort of play. He's playing around players like Ericsson, who's clearly not the when it comes to sprinting drills.
Ericsson is far better and faster than Casemiro at controlling the play.
I don't know. Would you say in a sprinting drill that those two would be the slowest? They would be the slowest, those two. But I'm saying Ericsson dictates the play.
Yeah, but Ericsson wouldn't go to ground.
If you want an example of how to dictate the play for Casemiro with all the attributes, strong attributes he's got, then I think Ericsson's right there at your club where you can say, all right, let me try and learn off this guy. If you're not too hard-headed.
He used to play like a guy like Marcos Senna. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, Spanish, won the World Cup.
Baller, absolutely loved him, yeah.
No, great player.
You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, he's played. This is the thing. Casemiro is just a stifler. When he was playing at Madrid, he had Modric and Cruz who controlling it. And he just win the ball. And then
do you remember Yaya Toure, Kahinde?
Yeah.
Before Man City.
Yeah, he was more of a CDM. He but
that's what I feel has happened to Casemiro. Is he's off the leash now. Doesn't have Cruz and Modric, and he wants to show a little bit more. And I personally think that and I saw this in the second half. Casemiro is much better up the pitch than he is protecting the midfield because he can't do it. Like, you might all laugh at McFred, but McFred are much better at protecting the pitch than Casemiro and Ericsson and Bruno are. They've got the mobility vertically.
Guys, we're going to talk enough football this season, no doubt. And we're getting overrun here with time restrictions and that. Just want to ask you, everyone's seen all the Premiership games over the weekend. Is it going to be tough with what you've seen from other clubs, apart from Luton, obviously, because I don't think they're good enough. But what is there anything you've seen that you think, oh my God, we are in trouble? As if we're talking about title ambitions. I started with Newcastle. I thought they were at home. They look fantastic and they're running physically. If that was Newcastle today, with that physicality the Wolves had, they would have, and the quality that Newcastle got, we would have got.
What chances did Newcastle make, Omondi?
They made a lot of chances, bruv. The runners. Sorry?
Third man.
No. Off their press.
off their press. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's physically strong. They overrun Aston Villa, who are well drilled. You know they'd be well drilled, and I just look at them and think, wow, that's a team.
Yeah, but like,
You know. So I
Mings
look
got
at
injured,
Newcastle.
and
I look at
then
Newcastle. I look at Liverpool.
okay,
I don't think they've got a long way to go. I think Chelsea's got a long way to go, but I think
Mm-hmm.
the Premiership maybe. I'm talking about title challenges. From what I've seen this weekend, I'm enthusiastic still. I think we could get better, but I think teams like Newcastle, they showed that running power, that fitness. We need to get that aggression and fitness for us to be real contenders. That's what we need. That's what we're
Well,
lacking right now. Go
what
over
we
to you
have.
guys. What have you seen this weekend? What about the Premiership and anything surprised you?
I have mainly been surprised about the homogeneity, about how everyone is playing the same. Like, and those high lines intrigue me with Rashford and Bruno, and our inability to play second phase play, but our ability to transition. I'm a little bit more confident. Like from what I saw, pretty much everyone was making chances off pressing and stuff. With the exception of Chelsea, who like Liverpool had less in the middle than we did, but I think that we might be a bit better positioned than I thought we were. Because when you look at, like, you're talking about like Newcastle United versus Aston Villa, which game I watched, Pau Torres had to come on because of Mings' injury.
Yeah.
He was nowhere near ready to play in a line that high.
Right.
And I'm not a massive fan of high lines. I saw Fiorentina get absolutely done by West Ham playing too high a line in the 75th minute. I think we might do better than tonight's performance is showing this season.
Kahinde, what have you seen this week?
I'm from what I've seen now, I'm quite concerned, to be honest, because I feel like we need to get a couple more players in, because I don't think we've got the balance right in the midfield, and I think we need another dominant centre back. You know, we've got to get that balance right where, you know, you can say, oh yeah, these two good patterns of play they're playing, and we need a guy that's going to control the midfield, someone like Rodri, things like that, you know, because Casemiro is not that one, and I think we need a really good CDM to put a lot of pressure on him. So unless we get we need a very good dominant centre back, another dominant centre back, put pressure on Martinez, and another CDM. If we do that, if we get Amrabat, who I'll be happy with, and another centre back, I think then we could challenge for a top four again. Okay. But you look at Newcastle, you look at their first team, you think they're not all that, but the way they're playing, their fitness and everything, and they're well drilled, they're very tough to beat.
Yeah, they're running you all day, no doubt about it. Guys, last few comments, column in the house saying very lucky today. George is saying in Wan-Bissaka best fullback in the world. Big T saying, be watching the game back again. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Fred could have held that midfield better than Casemiro today. Pranay saying here, it was also the decision making from Newcastle players. Our players won the ball 5-6 times in the opponent's half and couldn't convert. Okay, that's a good point. I like do you want to say hi to Pranay? I like his comments. He comes with some good comments, man.
Is he a Villa fan?
No, he's a Man United fan, I'm sure. You, Pranay, you're a Man United fan, aren't you? I'm sure. Dave's saying here, if Wolves had tried playing the same high line Villa did, I think we'd have an easy time today.
Mm-hmm.
Big T saying Wan-Bissaka man of the match as well for him. Contrasting views, is it, on the show? DK was saying, like I said earlier, last season United opened up against a shit team, played like a shit team, and lost. Same today, but United won. Vast improvement. Last couple of years, Pranay saying Wolves abandoned the middle of the pitch because they know no one is a threat at the centre of the forward line, so they kept the wings quiet. DK Wilson, Amrabat, and a healthy Kobe Mainu would be enough for him. And George finally says Eric Ten Hag is on fraud watch for me. Ooh, tough.
And you know what? Just one more thing.
Yeah.
There's one player who I think we're not utilising, who's I think is playing out of position, and that's Van der Beek. He's not a number 10. If Van der Beek plays as an 8, I guarantee, you'll see a big difference. You're thinking that actually this guy's actually really good.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well,
I'll tell you what, he
see.
does flicks in the centre of the pitch. He was doing them in friendlies. You can't be flicking the ball around in the centre
He
of the
needs
pitch.
to play
It
as an eight.
runs in straight
Yeah,
lines,
he needs to get
takes up the
hold of
space.
ball and then build
I
up.
can feel a show coming on, man.
He's had 4 years at the football
I've
club.
got to go, but we have to.
Yeah, but can we set this up? Because you two are really
Yeah,
going at
sure.
it.
Yeah.
You've got bump
His
heads, and I'll be the
perspective
referee.
on football is totally
Okay.
different to mine.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
he's
It's good, though.
this CDM, and I don't know who's your favorite CDM ever. Who do you like? Roy Keane?
Busquets.
Zico, Kinde, when you turn up for the show against Bath Time, can you please bring your certificates, your badges, and like Kurt Angle and wear them on the show, just to show your
The
credentials?
trophies that I've won as a manager.
Yeah.
Alone,
Don't tell him how to dress.
All right, guys, we're going to sign off now. Thank you. We're back. The Premiership is back. Bath Time's back. Kahinde's back. And I really enjoyed the show. Love talking football with you guys. And thanks to everyone for contributing in the comments as well. We'll be back, obviously, tomorrow, 8:30, for the aftermath of what happened today. And once we have time to settle down and really take it in, we've got the 3 points. That's the most important thing. And we can only move on and improve from now on, you know? Man of the match, quickly, Bath Time. I didn't get one from you.
Varane.
Oh, Varane, okay. And Kinde, you said the goalie, yeah? You said at the start of the show. I'm sure you said that. You're sticking with that. Okay. I think Sancho. I'm signing out. See you later, guys.